also do publications, newsletter publications, and other allied activities, which is all focused on in China-India operations. As you all know, China has always been a big threat for our country in terms of economic policies, or it is cultural interventions, or any other field. They always give a big challenge, and basically, so this organization mainly focus on counteracting these Chinese challenges, these immoral practices, which is mostly done by the China. So this is all about this Red Lantern Analytica. So we will just begin our session in a short while. And till then, I will request all our esteemed audience to be with us. And I will also request from you all to kindly keep your mic on a mute mode so that we can have a smooth flow of our lecture. Yeah, thank you.
And it's our request to the participants that when the session goes, if you have any questions, you can post those questions to our chat box, and alternatively, you can also mail it out to us. So we'll be taking forward your questions and we'll be asking that from our eminent resource person for this session.
Siddharthji, if you can hear me, can you just confirm that whether you can see
Actually, I have
the
already
video?
confirmed. Okay. Your video is not visible to us, Chandanji.
Okay, just a second.
Yeah.
Now I think.
Yeah, but your video is not on portrait mode. It's in the landscape mode. So if you can just keep your mobile or tablet.
Okay, fine.
You can just turn around your tablet so that we can see you on portrait mode. Good afternoon, Chandanji, Professor Pavnesh Kumar, the eminent resource person for this session, and the respected Dean of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya School of Commerce and Management Sciences, Mahatma Gandhi Central University, has joined this session. And I'll now let you go ahead with the proceedings, Chandanji. If you can hear me, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Siddharth. I hope we can start our session with the due permission of the organizing team as well as our honorable speaker, sir. We hope we can start our session now.
Sure, Chandan. No issues.
Yeah.
My voice is audible?
Yes, sir. You are perfectly audible, sir. Good evening, dear participants, audience, and honorable speaker. My name is Chandan Veer, and on behalf of Red Lantern Analytica, I again welcome you all in our one-day webinar on India emerging as Asian superpower and the Chinese challenge. As we have discussed about the organization, so without losing no more any our precious time, I would like to move ahead. But in between, I would also like to inform all our esteemed audience that we will take your questions or queries in after the end of the lecture of our eminent speaker. But in between, if you have any question, you can simply write it in our chat box. So now, before moving ahead, it will be an honor and a matter of great privilege, pleasure to introduce our today's eminent speaker, Professor Dr. Pavnesh Kumar sir, who will share his valuable knowledge and experience on our today's topic, that is India emerging as Asian superpower and the Chinese challenge. Professor Pavnesh Kumar sir is the Dean and Professor at Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya School of Commerce and Management Sciences, Mahatma Gandhi Central University, Bihar. Sir, you are credited with building and transforming a School of Commerce and Management Science to a school of national importance. So you had PhD in rural banking and you have more than 18 years of teaching and research experience. Sir, you are also a lifetime member of several societies and professional bodies like AIMS, ICA, IAA, that is Indian Accounting Association. You have also been a key player in organizing many national and international academic events and have also participated in more than 40 national and international seminars. Sir, your area of interest is international business, finance, and affairs. So, with these words, I would like to welcome our today's eminent speaker, Professor Dr. Pavnesh Kumar sir. Sir, if you can hear me, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Chandan. My voice is audible?
It is perfectly audible, sir. And at the same time, we can also see the PPT, the presentation also.
Okay, so first of all, at the outset, I would like to thank the Red Lantern Analytica for inviting me as guest speaker on a very relevant and contemporary topic, that is India emerging as Asian superpower and the Chinese challenge. In fact, I am a professor of management, but in management there is a specialization known as international business. My specialization is in international business. So I think that whatever knowledge I have, I could share it with you all, because this topic is also related with the geopolitical issues. It is also concerned with the international business. So topic is very relevant. And in fact, it has become more relevant after the corona crisis, because this time the virus has been generated. It occurred. The first instance took place in Wuhan, which is in China. And as far as the reports are coming, we have been observing that the China is acquiring a lion's share in the world's GDP. Slowly and slowly, it is not now. We know that the era of the Cold War has now come to an end, but we are observing that the China is challenging the superpower like America also in the last 3 to 4 years, and it has been developing like anything. But India is also utilizing its full potential, using its full resources to counter these challenges. So today I will discuss about what are the various issues and concerns for India and how we can tackle the Chinese challenge. As a India, we know that during Corona crisis, the government of India has introduced the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, that is self-reliant India movement. And that movement is slowly, day by day, we are seeing that it is creating an impact and we are becoming more self-reliant. Friends, you might be knowing that as far as the drug market is concerned, 60% of the raw material across the world is supplied by the Chinese market. Okay, means if even if we have to produce the medicine, we have to procure the raw material from China. And you will be surprised to know that as far as because India is moving towards a green economy, and in last 2 3 months you might be knowing that India has taken a pledge that I don't exactly know what was that year, but till 2050, the major share of the electricity production will be through solar energy. We are also increasing our share of the solar energy, solar power in the total energy generation, power generation. But it is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate that the raw material for the solar power plants also is supplied by Chinese market. China is you can say the number one country in the world which is supplying the raw material, instruments, etc. for in the area of the solar power also. In the area of solar power also. Okay. So taking all these points in account, let us come to the directly to the topic. What are the various factors which are in favor of India? What are the various factors? So we can see here that India has, my voice is audible, please confirm, Chandan.
Yes, sir. You are perfectly audible, sir.
Okay. So what are the various factors which are basically are in the favor of India? So number one is that India has a locational advantage. We will discuss it later on. What are the various advantages as far as the location is concerned? Number two, what are the various cultural factors which are in favor of in the favor of India? And these cultural factors are also considered as the soft power, which actually India is using nowadays. What are the various military factors, geographic factors, and what are the political factors and economic factors which are in favor of India? So, friends, these are the various, you can say, these are the various advantages in as far as the India is concerned. These are the various favorable things which basically comes in the favor of India. So India has a locational advantage. It has a demographic advantage. There are various cultural factors which basically contributes in the favor of India. Military power is there. Economic factors are there, and political factors. They are also responsible. They are actually helping India. Now coming to the locational advantage of India. Excuse me, friends. 1 minute. I'm sorry, friends, there was some technical glitch. So these are the various locational advantage of India. Number one, India has a central location at the head of Indian Ocean, and it has a long maritime boundary, and it is near about 2,500 kilometers. Okay. Number two, India is rich in natural resources. It benefits the global supply chain and propelling India as the manufacturing hub, because India is a country which is endowed with different seasons. India is one of the country which has good flora and variety of flora and fauna. And in addition to, India is endowed with various natural resources, like India has gold mines, coal mines, silver mines, etc. So India is rich in natural resources. Number third is the strategic position in the midway between Far East and the Middle East. Okay, it is beneficial for trade, and you might be knowing that there was one route which was known as Silk Route, which was used for the international trade, and it also passes through the geographical boundary of India, that is known as Silk Route. And it number fourth, that there is busy air routes which passes through India, connecting east Southeast Asia, Australia on one hand, and the Europe and America on the other hand. So in future also, if the infrastructure develops, the Indian airline industry, India can be hub for the airline industry, because by Indian airports, we can connect with the Far East as well as to the continents like Australia. So it can be a hub for that. It is hub for that. In fact, Himalaya is basically act as a natural boundary for India as far as the China is concerned. So China is concerned. So Himalaya act as a natural boundary towards the east. So it is a natural boundary. We don't have to construct the wall. The Almighty has already given a wall which is natural, that is Himalayas. And main important thing is that as far as the location is concerned, India is is connected through sea. It can be connected through road transport. Already the Indian government is preparing constructing a pipeline which is coming from Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan airline, this pipeline. And number two is that the through if we want to connect to the Thailand and all these countries, we can be connected through road also, not only by airline. And already there was a tripartite, you can say, signature between the Indian government and other countries also for construction of the road. So India is basically has a locational advantage. As far as the demographic advantage of India is concerned, India, we know that at present Indian population is near about 145 crore, 144 crore. It has a large population which basically gives India a dividend, demographic dividend. Number two is that in out of this total population, the percentage of the young population is very high. Okay, so between the age group of you can say 18 to 35, if you calculate the percentage, it is very high in comparison to the other countries. So if young population chunk is more, we can understand that these young population can change the not only the direction but also the pace of the Indian economic growth also. We have a large global diaspora. We know that there are many countries like Mauritius is there, Fiji is there, Canada is there, America is there, Malaysia is there. So almost crores of population is living in different countries. So it basically gives strength to the it gives demographic advantage to India. And the fourth one is that most of the Indian population has good command in English. So because it has good command in English, and English is the world language, so we basically we are because of that we are dominating the Silicon Valley. Not only the Silicon Valley, if you go in the Gulf countries also, you can see that the restaurant industry, the nurses, as far as the hospitality industry is concerned, we are basically not only exporting the engineers, but also the doctors, and we are also exporting the professors to many countries. Okay, so we have a demographic advantage of India. Number three, as far as the political advantage of India is concerned, India is democratic republican country. We well present vibrant democracy, and India, you might be knowing that India is the world's biggest democracy. World's biggest democracy. We have a multi-party system. We have left parties, we have right parties, we have center left, we have center right parties. So this is the beauty of Indian democracy, that all types of ideas are accepted in India, all types of ideology, as far as political ideology is concerned, all type of ideology you can find out in India. It is not like China, that there is no other ideology other than left ideology. Number two is that we have good foreign relations with the rest of the world. Friends, we have very good foreign relations, and because of these good foreign relations, we have a strong candidacy for permanent security council seat in the United Nations. We have a role in international politics. You might be knowing that whenever there is crisis across the world, the other countries see a ray of hope towards India. So we have a role in international politics, and we have multipolarity also. In a multipolar world, India is a natural choice of countering mainland China. So because of that, if there is any threat from the China, the other countries, developed countries, they see India as a country which can basically counter the China also. Okay. As far as the economic as far as the economic advantage is concerned, India has a booming and resilient economy. We know that uh, in spite of Corona crisis, in spite of all challenges, Indian economy is has regained its strength. It is a resilient economy. Number two, it is hub of science and technology, including strategic space expertise from ISRO. ISRO is one of the laurels for India. It has various laurels for India, and not only the ISRO, but many tech companies are there, which are basically giving services, which are providing services to the rest of the world. To the we know that the TCS, Infosys, ISRO, Tatas, they don't have operations in India only. They have operations across the world, and they are generating good amount of foreign exchange for India. So Indian scientific temperament is respected like anything in the world. Number two, we have major tourist attractions of the world, because we know that as far as the Buddhism is concerned, Hinduism is concerned, Jainism is concerned, many big religions, they have origin in India. So we actually attract tourists from those countries where the followers are Buddhist, they are Jains, they are Hindus, and not only that, also from the other religions also. And we have good tourist places. We have not only we have the we have variety of tourist places which actually attracts the foreign population. And India is considered to be the spiritual capital of the world, cultural capital of the world. So you could find that the CEO of the Apple, even the CEO of the Microsoft, they have visited the Uttarakhand Kachi ashram. One of the good novel has been written on that, the monk who sold his Ferrari. So these people, basically these big techies, they are attracted by the spiritualism which is there in India. So India has respected all the cultures, all the religions. So India has become the major tourist attraction. And as far as the yoga is concerned, yoga, So yoga has also attracted the world, and yoga has established, yoga has basically created a good impact in the world as far as the Indian image is concerned, Indian soft power is concerned. It has attracted medical tourism for cheap and expert medical facilities. I have gone through many newspaper cuttings, various magazines, that the people from, even from the third world countries, even from the developed countries, they are basically attracted towards India as far as the medical tourism is concerned, because we have good experts as far as in the medical fields. We have good medical facilities, and they usually come to India for their operations and all that, because it is cheap also, so cheap and best. So because of that, India has been the one of the you can say favorite places for the medical tourists. Next is, India has been globally recognized as IT powerhouse. I don't have to explain it to all of you, because all the IT professionals, you can see that Silicon Valley is dominated by Indians. If you, as far as the Twitter is concerned, in the big positions, we could find Indians. Microsoft is concerned, we can see the it is headed by the Indian. And so big organizations, they are basically dominated by the Indians, Indian techies. Okay, and last one is that the large ready market makes it easy for companies to grow quick. And I don't have the data, but we can see that after the startup and stand up India scheme, which has been introduced by the current government, we can find out that the new generations of in the young population, they are not more attracted towards the employment for the jobs, but they are taking risk. They are moving towards establishment of the startups. So we can see down the line, 10 years, 20 years, India can become the startup hub of the world. Okay, now next is, let us discuss about the military advantages of India. What are the various military advantages? India has uh, a good and powerful army. It has advanced air force. Our naval forces are also extraordinary. So a army's total strength, as far as the ground troops, air force and navy is concerned, India is the world fourth strongest armed forces, and it has the third highest defense expenditure in the world. So this is basically a you can say that this is the military power of India. And military power is very important for any country as far as the economic stability is concerned, political stability concerned, because if your country is not secured, if it is not secured, you cannot trade with the other countries. You cannot feel if the businessmen, they don't feel secure. So our, because of our military, because of our army's strength, our we can feel safe here. And we have integrated guided missile development program, which is known as IGMDP. And India has started this IGMDP to be self-reliant nation in the missile development. And I actually give the credit to the our ex-president of India, APJ Abdul Kalam sir, who has basically also known as the missile man of India, and who has been instrumental in making India self-reliant in the area of missiles. So we have 5 missiles, like Prithvi and Agni of ballistic missiles, surface to air missiles like Trishul and Akash, and also the anti-tank Nag missiles. If you have observed the 26th January parade, which was there on the Rajpath, you might have gone through all these type of missiles, because these missiles have been displayed there also. We are well equipped with the nuclear weapon, and we have basically, India loves peace, so it has adopted one principle that we are not going to use it first since 1998. But if it is nuclear, and India is one of the nuclear power in the world, uh, but we will use it in the self defense, although this can be changed in a war situation. we have import of state-of-art advanced military systems. India currently is the world's second largest arms importer as of the end of 2019, spending an estimated US dollar 16.97 billion in 2004. So India has made military technology deals with the Russian Federation, the US, and the Israel and European Union. So we have made our ties strong with the Israel. You know that the Israel is one of the country which is very small, but the big exporter as far as the arms is concerned, arms and ammunition is concerned. So the Prime Minister of Israel is. I have gone through the news that is planning to come. He has received the invitation from the Indian government. So we are making our ties strong with the countries who are basically well equipped with the technology which is used in armed forces. So we have better hardened army with rich war and anti-war operations experience. So our army is basically rich in war and anti-terror operation experience. Indian Armed Forces plays a crucial role in anti-terrorist activities and maintaining law and order in Kashmir region. Not only is Kashmir region, but you can see that paramilitary forces in India are fighting against the red terror, and you might be knowing what is Red Corridor. It is funded by the ultra red, those countries which basically support the ultra red extremism. So Indian armed forces, paramilitary forces, they have actually not only have good experience as far as the war is concerned, terrorism is concerned, but also they have good experience in fighting with the Naxalism also. So India has a historical epicenter of religious growth and harmony, which I have already discussed that the India has been the major religions have originated from India, like Buddhism and Jainism. So India is historically an epicenter of religious growth and harmony. And number two, unity in diversity is there. We actually follow Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam principle. We see the world as a global village. We consider all this. We treat the citizens of other countries also as the brothers and sisters. And you can go through the speech of the Swami Vivekananda, where he has denoted, which he has given in the United States of America in Chicago, where he has told that brothers and sisters. So actually that is the manifestation of our principle, that we believe Vasudev, that Vasudha as a kutum, that is this whole earth is a village. We follow this principle. Next is, it is a seat of spirituality, brotherhood and traditions. Okay, so that I have already discussed that many tourists in India, they actually comes here for their spiritual enlightenment. And I have also given you some example that not only the layman, but also the big techies, big CEOs, they usually come to India for their gaining the spiritual power from the various tourist places which are located in India. We have widespread reach of Bollywood cinema, and Bollywood cinema has actually reached through the OTT platforms and the DTH to the various countries. And through the Bollywood cinemas, we have been successful in exporting our culture to the various nations, because the cinema actually manifests. Actually, through cinemas, we can export our culture. We can export our soft power to the other countries. So when the internet age came, we have been successful in that, and due to the and Bollywood has a strong, you can say, contribution in that also. Next, what are the challenges still to be tackled? What are the various challenges? So as far as the challenges is concerned, India is facing through insurgency, because I have already discussed that India has a long border. India shares border with Pakistan, with Nepal, Bhutan, with Bangladesh. So many insurgents, they take the opportunity, because on many places Indian borders are open, so they take it as an opportunity. And because of the open boundaries, insurgency is very high in India, not only in Kashmir but also from the areas from the Burma, from Bangladesh. So insurgency is there. Number two, widespread substance farming. Uh, 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 we are facing through poverty, we are facing through unemployment. In fact, poverty and unemployment, they are basically related to each other. India has a huge population, and because of the huge population, we have the large chunk of people who are in poverty, who are unemployed. We have climate and environmental problems because this population is creating pressure in the not only in the rural areas but also in the urban areas. So we are also, and for the development purpose, we have to construct, we have to develop the infrastructure, and due to that there is also a climate and environmental problems. There are other problems also, and other problems, one of the problem which I have discussed is nationalism is there. Nationalism is also one of the problem which basically India is facing, and it is working on that from the long time. Now come to the what are the Chinese evil. Number one, there is authoritarian at home and outside. Maybe you can see that the China actually claims some portion of the Arunachal Pradesh as their. Number two, they also they are doing suppression in the areas of Tibet in Uyghur to the Uyghur Muslims. Who there is a state now known as Uyghur. So there also they are basically suppressing the population. They are touching democracy in Hong Kong, and you know that they have a continuous. China has become a continuous threat to other democracies like Taiwan, India, Lithuania, and others. And I will like to mention Lithuania also, because in Lithuania, the China has tried to indirectly interfere, and Lithuania has stand up against the China. Recently, in last 2 to 3 months, you can go through the news also. India, it has economic co-optation and coercion abroad. The Beijing long-term study of using whole of a nation approach to achieve, including by deceptive, corrupt, and illicit means, decisive advantage over the United States and other advanced industrial nations. You might be knowing that China is one of the country which is the permanent member of the Security Council. It has it actually uses the veto power when it comes to Pakistan, and Pakistan is an enemy country for India. So it is also using that. It has a world-class military, and a nation without a moral compass. I would like to say that in the case of, you might be knowing that during the corona crisis, the China has exported many medical instruments to some countries, and it was basically third class. It was not up to the mark. It didn't meet the benchmarks of the industry. So the China has used it as an opportunity. It has used this coronavirus crisis as an opportunity. So it is a basically a nation without a moral compass. And you might be knowing that India at the same time, because it has a big population, Indian economy is not so good, not so good, but India has helped many countries during the crisis. So this is the basic difference between India and China. So the new tactics like Chinese debt traps, uh, you might have gone through the news that the China has given a very big amount of loan to Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is now under the debt trap. Earlier, the government in Sri Lanka, they have accepted the debt from China from open hand, but now they are in the debt trap. So actually, in the African countries also, the China is using the same technique by offering debt, and once the country is not able to pay the debt, they are basically forcing them to sell their airports. And I don't know, I don't remember the name of the country, but it is actually Rwanda or Uganda, which is also under the debt trap of China. Okay, so Sri Lanka has also moving towards the bankruptcy due to this, you can say, debt trap policy of China. Now coming to the influence. So Beijing provides digital technology and physical infrastructure to advance its authoritarian objectives throughout the region. Okay, in addition to efforts to become the region's 5G vendor of choice, China pursued deals on airport, seaports, and other infrastructure. Uh, you might be knowing that there is a big company like Alibaba, and what the Chinese government has done to Jack Ma, who is the CEO, who was the CEO of Alibaba. You might be knowing that because in China, most of the big corporate organizations are funded by the government, and because the Alibaba has not accepted the terms and conditions of the government, what they have done, you can go and search on the in the news section of the Google also, what they have done to Alibaba. Okay, number two, China finds a strategic partner in Russia, a fellow authoritarian power. While neither a formal military alliance nor devoid of tension, this partnership is grounded in shared interest. But see, the Russia was also a communist country. China was also a communist country, but they don't share the common. Russia is basically supports India, Indian radars, Indian big military. Russia is one of the country which basically supplies military this arms and ammunitions to India, but they are not the they basically come together in order to counter the US. Okay, but Russia, as far as the Russia is concerned, Russia has good relations with India. Uh, Next, in 2013, we can see that China identified Europe as a core component of the Belt and Road Initiative. This Belt and Road Initiative, you might be knowing that the China is also slowly capturing Pakistan also. They are offering that. They have one belt, one road scheme there also. And through Karakoram Pass, they want to connect the Karachi port, okay, through Afghanistan also. Some of the portion of the one belt, one road is in Afghanistan also, and you might be observing that China, this Pakistan is also under the debt trap of China. The China aims to enhance its energy security in Middle East and obtain market access to extend the Belt and Road Initiative and other such interests. Beijing also actively engages with the Iranian regime and Syrian Assad's regime. Meanwhile, the PLA Navy visits the region with an eye uh, to developing deeper water ports like that of Salah in Oman. So slowly, the China is basically want to increase its presence in the Middle East and Africa, which I have already discussed. That one of the country like Rwanda or Uganda, I don't know exactly. I don't remember which country is that, but they had to sell their airports now because they are under the debt trap. China's geopolitical influence stretches deep into America's backyard. Beijing accelerated bilateral trade investment to acquire extensive stakes in the region's petroleum, mining, and energy sectors. China's Huawei and ZTE are among the region's top providers of telecommunications and surveillance architectures, all of which pose espionage risk. Okay, so this is their deal influence in Western world, transforming international organizations from within. The Beijing is basically it is continuing to throw its weight around at the United Nations and other international organizations to align these institutions with China's transformative ambitions. China generally deliver higher levels of development assistance to countries voting with it in the UN General Assembly. That is in the WHO's siding with China's lies during Corona pandemic, and it was basically this point has been raised by the current government, which is ruling in US also, that the WHO, World Health Organization, is basically uh, towards the China. What are the challenges posed by China? Number one is military. China is a direct military threat to India, particularly in light of the two countries' border disputes. We have border disputes, and we have seen this dispute in Doklam also. Though India has considerably military power, Chinese forces are already stronger and better funded. Beijing's outsized wealth will likely allow it to be outspend New Delhi for the foreseeable future. Okay, so Doklam was one of the recent issue which we have observed, that there was a conflict between the two forces in India, and there was a that conflict was during the pandemic, when the China has all the world, all the countries in the world, they are fighting against the coronavirus virus, and this China was creating a problem for India in the Doklam. Okay, next one was, and I would like to salute the Bipin Rawat, the ex-CDS Bipin Rawat, who has handled this issue in a better way. Uh, Influence. Beijing's influence in both established international organizations like the United Nations and in new institutions, China. Because I have already discussed that India is also aspiring to become the permanent member in the United Nations Security Council. China is enjoying the veto power, and I hope that because India is getting support from many countries, in coming years, India will also become the permanent member in the Security Council. But because China enjoys its permanent seat in the United Security Council, it basically use it as a influence. Third is alignment in power. China aligned with the Pakistan recent Taliban regime in Afghanistan, and deepening relation with the other South Asian countries represents a significant challenge to India's position in the region. Earlier, the government which was ruling in the Afghanistan was basically favorable to India, but this recent Taliban government, the China can use this Taliban government against India, because they are supporting the current regime. So India's diplomacy, these diplomats have to work in a better way so that they can tackle this threat from the current Taliban regime. Beijing is basically not only supporting financially to the Taliban, but also they are helping the current regime in Afghanistan in other ways also. And as far as the economic challenge is concerned, China's economic power allows Beijing to spread its influence around the world, which could be used to India's detriment. So this China is not only using the political the privileges it is enjoying in the United Nations, but also it is challenging India on the economic front. These are the various China's vulnerabilities. China's economic faces significant difficulties. There are not only good things in China, but there are certain things which are vulnerable. That is, China's economy faces significant difficulties. There are still some 600 million people earning a medium or low income or even less. We know that in China there is a single government, single party system. Communist Party is basically ruling there, but there also still some 600. We are only seeing the good side of silver side of the Chinese economy, but there is the flip side also, that there are still some 600 million people earning a medium or low income or even less. Worsening demographic conditions. The size of the population is on track to peak in the coming decade and then gradually decline. So China is the most populous country having the largest population in the world, but we can see that that population will gradually decline. China's accelerated economic development has severely degraded the environment. Its arable land and clean water is at threat. Even though they claim that they are basically pro, they take policies which are pro environment, but the environment is under threat due to the Chinese economic development. They have competition at the local level as well as at the party's upper level. providing more than 130,000 protests annually and likely to shake the system. Okay, but because they have this government, Chinese government has control on the media, we could not find these type of news because they have the state control. Uh, you can say media. So we actually see the good side of that, but there are various things which we could not see. There are a large number of protests, and if you know, there was a when the youth came on the Tiananmen check of this that is known as Tiananmen Square in China. When youth they came to protest there, the military they have used tanks to crush the protest. Okay, you might be knowing that it was basically it was a movement. It was movement against the government, but they have used their military power to crush the protest on the Tiananmen Square. Okay, Beijing allocates extraordinary sums to internal security as national domestic security spending. PLA, People Liberation Army, lacks popular legitimacy as it doesn't fight for people, consistent with the Mao's motto, that is political power goes out of the barrel of a gun. Okay, so PLA lacks popular legitimacy there. Questions about leadership succession. We know that recently the current president of China, he has declared that he will be the president till death. He will rule. Earlier there was some terms that the president can have 2 or 3 terms, but now he can be. He has changed the constitution, and he can be the president for till his death. Okay, so this is one of the vulnerable things because it creates dictatorship in the country, and actually they are because there is single party system, only one party is ruling there, so dictatorship is there. Okay, so there are certain other issues also. The China is seen with distrust and viewed more negatively across many advanced economies because after Corona crisis also the image of China has lost the trust among various nations. So understanding Chinese nuances, you can see China is not a country but an amalgamation of illegally held territories. You can go through this. There is East Turkmenistan, Tibet. They have controlled Tibet. The government in exile of Tibet is already operating in the Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh, led by the Dalai Lama. Okay, you can see Cantonia is there. China claims to South China Sea is less to do with the sovereignty and more to do with the rule of the might. You can see that there is always a conflict in the South Asian Sea, and it is not only the India but also the Japan and other countries which actually protest this Chinese policy. Okay, China is home of the 56 official minorities, all of which are systematically persecuted. China only promotes Han Chinese identity as the only acceptable Chinese identity. Okay, so you can see that the 56 they have 56 official minorities, but systematically they are persecuted now. Now, similarities from the past. What are the various similarities from the past? So the China challenges resembles the one presented by the Soviet Union to the free world. Soviet authoritarianism combined communism and traditional Russian nationalism. The Soviet synthesis governed the USSR's quest to construct a world order with Moscow at the center. Similarly, Chinese authoritarianism combines communism and a hyper-nationalist interpretation of China's status and destiny. The Chinese Communist Party synthesizes, governs China's quest to construct a world order with Beijing at the center. So you can see that China's challenge is not in the first place a military struggle. China's saber rattling in the South Asia China's Sea and the gradual acquisition of positions, its crushing of the freedom in the Hong Kong and its menacing statements about the behavior toward Taiwan are of the major concern. They have conflict with not only with the Hong Kong only, but also they consider Taiwan as one of their one of the state. Okay, China uh, it is development of significant military power is there. They are building sufficient military capabilities could convincingly allow India to deter China from using force against it, or if deterrence were to fall, to defend itself. It is a potential partnership with other countries. India also needs to strong partners who can help balance against China and possibly help India enhance its own capabilities. And India is doing that by doing new ties with the other countries also. So they have multilateral diplomacy. India could potentially use multilateral institutions such as United Nations to undermine the legitimacy of the constraint and aggression Chinese behavior in the international arena. India could convincingly garner support on issues it deems important from other states, especially more powerful one like the United States, and in so doing attempt to isolate and deter China from acting against India's interest. And there can be international economic integration. Trade and economic integration are useful tools for growing the Indian economy, generating greater wealth, and developing India's technological capabilities. Greater wealth and technological capabilities are essential building blocks of military power and greater international influence. So, in order to deter the China, India can use all these strategies. Okay. So, lastly, peace is very important, friends, for the countries to survive. So, all because this Sun Tzu has written a very good, you can say, this art of war. So in the art of war, he has given good. Their art of war is basically a book which is used by the those who are in military. It is basically part of the management syllabus also in the military sciences also. Okay, so this is very small. You can say they have 20 to 30 to 35 pages are there, but it is basically related with the strategic issues, this book. And peace, there are famous things in this book, that is, peace proposals unaccompanied by a sworn covenant indicates a plot. Hence the enlightenment rulers is hateful and the good general full of caution. This is the way to keep a country at peace and army intact. Thus, it may be known that the leader of the armies is the arbitrator of people's fate, the man on whom it depends whether the nation shall be in peace or in peril. So this is all from my side, friend. There was a less time. I am very much sorry that I joined 5 to 10 minutes late. This is due to some technical issues. So thank you to all of you. This is all from my side, and if there are any questions, I would like to answer. I will love to answer the questions. Thank you so much, friends.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your elaborate presentation on this topic, covering extensively about the dangers which China poses to India as well as the vulnerabilities of China. So, I'll be now inviting questions from our participants. Any of our participants who are listening to us can unmute themselves and ask their questions. And if convenient at their end, they can also post their questions in the chat box. So, our participants, the session is now open for your few of the questions which you will like to ask. So we have one question, sir, and I'll read out to you. Just a second, sir. I'll read out that question to you. Chandraji, if you can see on your screen the question, if you can read that out.
I could read it. It is a question
Yes, sir.
from Subham, I hope, Subham Singh. And
Yes,
his
sir.
question is basically related with, he has written that it has been more than 59 years since Sino-India War, which took place in 1962. And he is concerned about why India has failed to develop the Andaman and Nicobar Island. This is the question of Subham, I hope. In spite of the India can develop Andaman and Nicobar. You might be knowing, friends, that India has a naval base in Andaman and Nicobar. I have visited Andaman and Nicobar. They have air force there. they have navy, and they have army also in Andaman Nicobar Islands. Okay, all and you might be knowing that Subhash Chandra Bose, he has hosted the flag in Andaman and Nicobar, and that island is now known as Swaraj Deep. Okay, so Indian government is already sparing lot of, you can say, it is creating great infrastructure in Andaman and Nicobar. If you visit there, you can find it. Said India has invested a lot. Not in Andaman Nicobar is not only the you can say tourist place, but it has a strategic importance because it is connected through airlines. It is connected through the ships, but through Andaman and Nicobar, we can counter China in the South Asian South China Sea. So India has invested a lot in the infrastructure. It is good that still India need to take care of these islands. It is basically there are many islands in Andaman and Nicobar. Some of the islands they have inhabitants. Some islands they are barren islands. Okay, so it is not very easy to manage those islands. Okay, because they are scattered at various places. But government is doing a lot in this Andaman and Nicobar Islands. If you go see there, you can find it that in the since independence, um, it is not only remembered for the cellular jail, not only remembered for the tourist place, but also it has a good air force station. They have good naval base also, and Indian naval ships, warships are already there in Andaman and Nicobar. It is also Andaman and Nicobar is also helping India in the as far as the logistics supply chain management is concerned. Okay, so in South Asian to beat the China in the South China Sea, the Andaman and Nicobar is one of the, you can say, strategic position which India has, and India is doing that. India is doing that. It takes time because it is now only 75 years we became independent. So India is doing that, and I hope that the current regime, you should have faith in that. They have visited many times in Andaman and Nicobar, and the great infrastructure development is going on there. And still, I agree with the Shubham that lot of you can say development issues are there. India need to invest. Bhavya Rathod, namaste. What there is another question from Bhavya. What role we see of Indian diaspora in India's foreign policy, especially in terms of China? See, India, this soft power, India can this India's diaspora can create a pressure from the not only from the India but from those who are living in the other uh, countries, and this soft power can be used to develop a narrative against China. So we know that Indian diaspora is great. We Indians basically we moved in the in 60s and 50s in Canada, and after that we might be seeing that many people who are from the Indian origin, they are the prime minister, they are president of different countries. So this diaspora can be used to make narrative, to create a consensus, to have support from the different countries as far as the permanent membership in the United Nations Security Council is concerned, as far as raising an issue against China in the United Nations. So it can also act, this Indian diaspora can also act as a pressure group to create pressure on China. So this can be used in the foreign policy, and not only this, but also the diaspora is contributing in the economic development, of India also. Okay, because they are supplying foreign exchange here. Kunal Kashyap has a question. Even though, sorry, Rajiv Ranjan Chaubey. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much. But
Sir,
India is a
we have
nuclear
one
power.
question. Yeah.
There was question I could not.
Sir, let me read that question. Sir, we have one question from
Kunal
Kunal
Kashyap.
Kashyap,
Okay.
that even though knowing the threat from China, every year we are breaking the import goods from China. So how can we minimize the dependency on China and do more export actually?
So, see, friend, I have shared during the starting of my lecture that Indian government has introduced a very great plan, economic development plan, that is known as Self-Reliant India. This Self-Reliant India, if it becomes successful, we need not have to import things from China. Okay, so friends, it can be minimized, but it cannot be eliminated. We know that all the countries in the world, they are open economies. We have to depend on the other economies also, because China was considered to be the cheapest, as far as the labor is concerned. It was the cheapest supplier of the labor. So they have good number of SEZs. Their special economic zones, they are successful. They basically manufactures, they do the mass production. Their per unit cost is low, their prices are low, so they could supply instruments, they could supply the other resources, raw materials at a cheaper cost. Okay, so India need to become self reliant, and already Indian government is working on that. Already we have become self-reliant as far as the PPP kits are concerned, as far as the raw material which is used in the medicine. India is making a hub near Gurgaon and these satellite towns to 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 counter China. So slowly you can see that, you will see that these exports from India will, we are already there is a plan of Indian government that is known as Make in India, not Made in India, but Make in India. We are inviting many companies from around the world to establish their manufacturing unit here. Once these manufacturing units works, they start working, our exports will increase. Number one. And number two, because India is moving towards political stability. Okay, India has a political stable government. So I think that because we have political stability, we have a good culture, economic culture is there. So in future we can find that many companies, they will come here. And after Corona crisis, the big companies, they have lost their faith in the Chinese government, in the China as a country. And I will say that many countries like Malaysia, Singapore, they are attracting good number of companies which are operating in China. But India has also become successful. India has one problem, that we have 29 states, we have a multi-party system. Our we are not like China, that we have only single party system. India has various issues, but because there is political stability, there is a government which can take bold decisions at the center. So we can see that in future, we may move towards from imports to exports. Our balance of payment as a developing countries are always negative, because our exports are less than imports. Okay, but because it is developing countries, we are on a takeoff mode. Our economy is on a takeoff mode. We are also an emerging economy. We are moving towards an economy which is a knowledge based economy. So we can see that, and our education system, new education policy has come, where the target is that we have to increase the gross enrollment ratio. So slowly we will find that India will move towards from a negative balance of payment country to a positive balance of payment country. Okay. Now there is
Yes.
another question.
Sir, we have one
There is
more
one more
question
question, sir.
from
Yeah.
Rajiv Ranjan Chaube. Sir, he's
Yeah.
asking that as India as well as China both have the nuclear power, so how much danger do you perceive if any nuclear war happens between these two powers?
I don't see the India is also in nuclear war nuclear power endowed with the nuclear weapons. China is also there. Pakistan is also there. Okay, we are basically surrounded by two countries which are basically endowed with the nuclear power. Not only China but also Pakistan is also there. But we have good foreign relations with those countries which are basically known for their military power. They are good in they are small countries like Israel and US. I think that this situation will not come, and if it comes, India sometimes uh, many issues are solved through diplomacy. Okay, China is wants to rule the world, and the country which actually wants to be the number one in the world, they don't want to enter into the war. Okay, and that is the case with the India also, because these two countries are moving in a positive direction. Okay, China is our natural enemy, and sometimes many politicians also, they used to say that it is bigger threat than the Pakistan. I don't think so, but China is a threat. If there is a nuclear war, if there is a nuclear war, India is sufficient to, uh, you can say, use the policy of tit for tat. I don't think so, that because it is not a small decision, and we have seen that because nuclear power was used in 1945 when the Second World War ended. But and after that, the country like Japan, they worked hard, and now you can see. Earlier, you are very surprised to know that the China was ruled by the Japanese. It was a very small country, but it was ruled by Japan. Okay, so I don't think so. And Japan is the enemy of China, but the friend of India. So India has good number of friends which can create pressure on China. We have we have a good friendship with Russia also. So it will be not an easy decision to use this nuclear power against India. Okay, what is the next question?
Uh,
Munna
sir,
Singh is there. Yeah,
yes, sir.
he has asked
So
a question. Yeah.
let me read it out, sir. Uh,
How can India collaborate with the descendants of China, including the Uyghurs?
yes, sir. How
Tibetans,
can India?
Mongolians. Okay. So his question is that the India may collaborate, should collaborate with this. India has already collaborated with has a sympathy towards the Tibetans. You know, the government in exile is already there in Himachal Pradesh, in the district Dharamshala. Uh, Tibet is already supporter of India. Actually, China claims Tibet as their one of the state. We have given them recognition as a country. Mongolians, yes, it may be a good strategy. Munna has given a good, you can say, view that we can collaborate with these countries, but there are various challenges also. There are various challenges because Uyghurs, if you want to collaborate with them, because they are the hardliners. They are some as far as news is concerned. If they can do bad to the China, if you collaborate with them, they can be harmful to you to the our country also. So diplomacy, in case of diplomacy, we always used to calculate the cost and benefit. Okay, as far as the Tibetans is concerned, we are already have soft, you can hurt towards the Tibet. Mongolians, they actually Mongolians, because China has an encroachment policy. They are encroaching the territory in Mongolia also. So these countries actually, we can collaborate at the diplomatic level. Okay, we can help them in the terms of vaccine. You might have seen the vaccine diplomacy of India during the corona crisis. We can export our ideology, our culture to these countries, make them favorable to India, and if they are favorable to India, it will be better to use them against China. Okay, so I hope that because China actually uses the coercive policies towards these countries. So they are if they use the coercive policies, naturally these territories they have a inclination towards the India. Okay, Nitish Shekhar has asked one question. Your deliberation is, sorry, if there
No,
is
sir,
any
he
question,
has
Nitish.
he has just congratulated you for your such an
Okay,
extensive lecture, sir.
so
We have one last question, sir.
yeah,
That China. This question is from Shivangi Anthal. China
okay.
seems to have forgotten that friendship is an important matter. Just like for India, they can have a good friendship with them. So, can you suggest if what do you feel actually that in future Chinese leader will think about having a friendship with India right now as they are giving very various challenges, but whether in future they could have a good friendship relationship with India or what? What could be the future scenario?
See, we cannot, Indian government has been cheated. You can see by cheated by Chinese, not only one time, many times also. There was a very good slogan which you might be, Shivangi, you might be knowing, that Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. It was given by our respected Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. But they have cheated us. China, they have cheated us. Number one. Number two, they have been supporting indirectly Pakistan. They have created a political instability in Nepal. You might, if you have gone through the political establishments which are basically ruling in Nepal, you will find that still they are not getting a stable government. They are this Chinese government. They have uh, done. They have given a large chunk of debt to this Sri Lanka, and because of these, they are investing like anything in Pakistan. They are supporting some of the organizations in Bangladesh, in Burma. So China is actually actually, I don't think that they become our friends. Okay, because already after independence, India has already been cheated by them. If we believe already they have broken our trust, so I don't think so. We should treat them as one of our competitor, not only enemy but also competitor on the economic and other fronts, and we should make ourselves strong. There is one important thing, important statement which is used: Veer Bhogya Vasundhara. Okay, so if India becomes strong, naturally the respect for India will increase. Okay, so if you want China to be your friend, you have to be make yourself so strong that China could not think of uh, war against India. So best policy is that instead of offering friendship to China, accepting their friendship, we should be very strong in the terms of military power, in the terms of cultural power and all that, so that China themselves, they offer the friendship to India, and we should be very cautious, very very cautious. And I am telling this on the basis of our past experience. Yeah, yeah.
So thank you, sir. We have just one last question, sir. That question is from Rajiv Ranjan Chaube, as he is asking that as Western nations is boycotting Beijing Olympic 2022, and world awaits India to join the call. Do you think India should boycott Beijing
See,
Olympics?
see, see, Rajiv, these are not very simple questions. Uh, it depends on, you might have seen that India has a war-like situation with Pakistan on every 6 months to every year, but we don't stop cricket. Okay. In the same way, these type of decisions are taken into account by going through many factors. Okay, we have to calculate our cost and benefit. uh, Still we are dependent on China as far as the import is concerned, it is true, So these decisions are not taken by these are not emotional decisions. These are all diplomatic situation. So we have to calculate our cost and benefit. See, we are also a country which need to calculate the cost. We have to do the cost benefit analysis. It is not an emotional decision. It is a diplomatic decision, and it has to be taken by considering various factors. So for the proper answer for this question is not possible, whether you should boycott or not. So we have to see. We have to see whether the benefit is more or cost is more. So these are all about cost and benefit. These are all diplomatic issue. If you want answer on the emotional ground, I will say no. India should always protest. India should not be join the Beijing Olympics, and beyond this, I would extend one more thing is that all the countries around the world should join and protest against China for the coronavirus. The information they have basically conceded, and the world 55 lakh people they have lost their life. So the countries India should join that bandwagon. Okay, but if you want answer from a professor, the thing is that these are all diplomatic situations, and there should not be any emotional decisions, because Olympics, whether to participate or not to participate, depends on many factors. It is not only single factor which will work there. Yeah, Chandan.
So, yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for such an exhaustive lecture. And I'm still wondering that whether, sir, you have left any particular topic related to China which was not included in your lecture. I'm still wondering. You have covered a very broad aspect related to the challenges faced from the China or India. So, with these words, I would like to call on Mr. Siddharth Ghosh. Siddharthji, if you can hear me, for a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Chandanji. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I'll take this opportunity to thank our eminent speaker for this session, Professor Pavnesh Kumar sir, for his highly informative session on India emerging as Asian superpower and the Chinese challenge. Certainly, sir, with the new thrust over the Chinese challenge, which has been posed towards India, it is a very paramount that we discuss on these issues. And I sincerely hope that all the participants attending this session must have learned immensely from this session. We at Red Lantern Analytica will also like to thank you, sir, for your great presentation over this subject. I'll also like to thank our founder of Red Lantern Analytica, Mr. Abhishek Ranjan, for his efforts of initiating this institution as a think tank to reach out more to the common masses and make them aware about China related issues. I also thank our participants for their great involvement and who made this session interactive by asking their relevant questions. And with these words, on the behalf of Red Lantern Analytica team, I would like to express our sincere thanks to all of the academicians and research scholars who have joined us today. We express our heartfelt gratitude to Professor Pavnesh Kumar sir once again for taking out time from his busy schedule and making this session possible. With your due permission now, sir, we can bring this session to a close.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. Thank you so much, Chandan. And I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Abhishek Ranjanji, who has given me this opportunity, great opportunity to interact with you all. To my congratulations to the organization for selecting such a wonderful topic. So I hope that in future also these type of topics should be discussed in order to create awareness, at least among the young people. So there was questions from the Shubham also. So there is lack of time. I would like to answer it if he can send his question on my mail. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll now bring this session to a close.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.